Hi, everybody. Clayton Atkinson here, community ambassador for Carbon6, the Amazon Tools Aggregator. Hi, Clayton. How are you?
Hey, Jordy. Yeah, doing good. Thanks, man.
For the ones that don't know Carbon6, Carbon6 is an Amazon aggregator for tools. You have acquired Managed by Stats, PixelMe, Zone Tools, Zen Arbitrage, AMZ Alert, and what else? Because I lost track.
Did you say seller investigators?
No.
We have a Scan Unlimited and wholesale, and we have some merch tools like Pretty Merch.
Seller tools.
Seller tools, AMZ Alerts on tools, PixelMe. Yeah, we have a lot, Jordy. It's always growing, but it's good.
So we are demoing AMZ Alert today. It's a tool for basically ASIN monitoring across any Amazon platforms. And so if you can share your screen and show us the main features.
Yeah, absolutely, I can. And before that, maybe just like explain a bit about it. And so it was built, AMZ Alert is exactly what you said. It's an alert tool, and I think a lot of tools have alert functionality, but this one has more alerts than any other system. And it's very customizable. You'll see this when we get into it, but it was built for everybody from the individual up to like the agency and aggregator. Very customizable with how you get alerts, when you get alerts, who on your team gets those alerts. And you can also turn off alerts that you don't want to, because I'm an Amazon seller. I have been for 5 years, and I've signed up for alert systems in the past. And one thing is that if you get too many alerts, you just start becoming like, it becomes like ad nauseum. Like you just stop paying attention. You can't read every single alert when, something small changes. And a lot of times you're making those changes. You're the one changing an image or changing a copy or a bullet point, or like you're aware of it. Anyways, so this was built with the idea that you only get the alerts that you want to get, when you want to get them, and the way you want to get them, meaning like email, text, Slack, via API or email, whatever.
And it's not the classical Amazon alert system, so it doesn't work just with your ASINs. So most of the tools, you have to connect them to your Seller Central, then they pull your ASINs and they just monitor your ASINs. Bless.
Sorry, thank you.
So using AMZ Alert, you can copy paste any ASIN, whether it's yours or it's from a competitor. So you can monitor 24/7 everything you need.
That's exactly right. And I'll talk about a strategy that I use for watching competitors' listings. But the other like benefits that AMZ Alert has over competitors is we can scrape more often, like once every hour, and you can scrape any product on Amazon. It doesn't just have to be yours. Exactly like you explained, most have to be connected to your account. That's not true anymore with AMZ Alert. And the smartest and best sellers are watching what their competition are doing, and they have game plans for when certain triggers happen. So yeah, we'll talk about that. I'll jump in now and share my screen. Okay. So here we are in AMZ Alert, and this is the dashboard. You'll see how many products you have, how many suppressed products, which is like something super important to know, and then the number of alerts that have been sent all time, as well as like the alerts sent in the past 7 days. And this number, right, is like obviously super scary. It's like huge. It's like almost 120,000. This is a like dummy account that has been running for like years now. So don't freak out about that too much. But anyway, this is I really like. These are your open alerts, and it'll tell you how many in the past 24 hours, 7 days, or 30 days of which type of alert you've been getting a lot of. So like this one here says you've had 10,000 stock availability alerts. Now, if those are your products, which presumably most of them are, this could be a big alert to you saying, hey, this is a big problem. You need to look at your inventory management. So maybe you need to get like a better system like SoStocked or whatever inventory management service you use. You need to make some adjustments because this is a continuing problem. And then this over here is like an existing review change, meaning that somebody's taking a review and then changing it. Usually that's a sign of somebody doing a good job of saying, hey, I saw you left a negative review. We'd love to make this as positive experience as possible. And, then the person gets happy after you make them happy and they go and change the review. Although you can't ask them to change it, you can make them happy. And I think they kind of get the quid pro quo. So this is AMZ Alert in a nutshell, and then it'll give you here your most 10 recent alerts.
Okay.
When you first start AMZ Alert, you're going to go into here and click Add New Products. And you can add a product by an individual ASIN, or you can do a batch import with a CSV file. But I want to add a product real fast. And we can just go to Amazon.com and type in, dog bed. Okay. And we'll just pick this guy. So we'll grab this ASIN. And then we click on the store name, which is the dog's balls.
Really?
Didn't mean to do that one. Sorry. And then you just grab this merchant ID, which is right after the seller equals. Those are the only two things you have to have, is the ASIN and the merchant ID. You can see how there's an asterisk there. And now you can pick all of these alerts that you want. And you'll be able to do this on the batch import as well. So if you say, I don't care, I want to know if the title changes or the image changes, and I'd like to know if my bestseller badge comes on or off, but I don't care if there's an add-on item, or I don't want to see when bullets change or description changes. Basically, all of these alerts you can pick. Like if an Amazon choice comes on, you want to know about that. If Fulfilled by Amazon goes away, you want to know about that. You can pick all of this type of stuff, and AMZ Alert can tell the difference between different types of suppression. So suppression, meaning like you have a violation, or if you have like an out of stock. And then sometimes Amazon just accidentally suppresses stuff and it like has to refresh. And we can send you different alerts based on that. Most systems don't differentiate between different types of suppressions, and we do. Leech is the same thing as hijacker. So somebody else jumps on your listing, but I like getting whatever you need for your business. You can turn these off and on. Product dimensions is a big one, because if your product dimensions change and they get bigger or heavier, Amazon starts charging you more for every single shipment. Seller investigators can help you get money back for that type of thing. You can automatically add your product variations with one click, and then you can pick all these different countries. So anyway, after that, you just click Save Products, and it'll an hour from now or so, you'll see all of the data for that product. But that's all you need to add a product, is the ASIN and the merchant ID. So again, competitors' listings are totally fine. This was the one I did the other day. I did this one yesterday, and now there's info inside there. So we talked about the dashboard. We talked about adding products, removing products. You would rarely do that unless you stop selling a product, or you want to stop following your competitors for some reason. And these open alerts is just all of the alerts. You have the 10 most recent ones on the dashboard, but if you want to see even more, they're all right here. And you can get a lot of information here. You can click alert info and figure out what kind of alert it was. This is an add-on flag missing. Let me move our little faces here. And you can click OK and hide alert. You can also add it to a work list.
That's really useful.
Yep. So your work list will then go to where like you can assign it to different people on your team. So this is an Indian ASIN, right? This is from India. So maybe this goes to an India team, and this goes to a USA team. I'll show you later how you can manage sub-users, which is right here. And you can say, hey, any ASIN that is in India goes to the team in India versus any team that's in the USA, or you could do it for lots of different stuff. But anyway, here you can go over all the different alerts. This is an out of stock. This is title is missing. And I misread that. That was bestseller rank and changed. So all of these are all of your alerts. You can also, most of our pages export to Excel if you want to like take it off of AMZ Alert. But yeah, you can add it to a work list, and that shows up right here on your dashboard. This is where you can edit, the priority of the work list and write notes and see whether or not it's complete, things like that. Any questions, or is this all making sense?
It's making sense.
Okay, good. That's the idea. And yeah, again, all of your products are here. I'm just hopping around a lot, but this is how I do it. You can click edit on any product, and you can change like what alerts you get on an individual basis, or you can edit them in bulk as well. Stock availability. This is my strategy. This is what I recommend people do. If you have 1, 2, or 3 top competitors and one of them goes out of stock, like most of my products, there's like 2 main competitors. So if one of those 2 go out of stock, my sales could potentially increase by, 30, 40%. And I need to know that but also I know there's generally less competition for people with similar amounts of reviews, really good reviews, things like that, similar pricing, what I would call mature listings. And here, if I say, I want to know when this dog bed, their availability of stock is beneath 10, or if it just goes to 0, I want an alert saying this guy's out of stock. Here's a time where you can do one of two things. I could raise my price, probably make still more sales and just make more money while that person is out of stock. Or on the other side, I could lower my price or keep it the same in order to try to increase my velocity of sales and try to jump that person on a specific keyword. If I'm number 2 and they're number 1, I don't know how long they'll be out of stock, but maybe that's an opportunity for me to take that number 1 spot. And then the other thing I like to do, so that's really that's a high level strategy. A lot of people aren't doing this, but it's smart.
Yeah.
And by checking your other competitors' listings, you can get alerts when they change their images. So if they say, hey, I added this new update to my product, well, you don't want to fall behind. So maybe you can start asking your manufacturer, hey, I just saw my competitor added this small facet to their product. Is it possible for us to do that? How much would that cost? Things like that. Or if you get an alert that their product dimensions changed and it got smaller, well, now they're going to be more competitive. Maybe they changed the way they're packing their product, and now they're going to be able to undercut you in price. So again, go to your manufacturer and say, hey, is there a way for me to change my packaging? These are the types of things that are higher level sales stuff that most people aren't paying attention to, but it makes a big difference in the end.
That's a nice tip.
Yeah, it works, right? So, and then also here, these negative or positive reviews. If your customer is getting negative reviews, potentially you could be getting negative reviews, so you don't have to just read your negative reviews, read your competitors and figure out how to avoid getting the same reviews. But anyway, that's where you see more info. This is where you can, that's where you can edit the product. And if you click more info, you have an overview of the product. We pull all of this information in. We scrape title, the product variations, the bullet points, everything. This will tell you the timeline of if you want to look at a particular product and see what kind of alerts it's been getting, you can see those here. If you added keywords to track, you could see how your keywords are doing. You can see a history of how often we crawled the listing. And then last but not least, we've added an AMZ Listing Analyzer that will tell you if you should be changing your title length or changing your number of product images. And we actually ask people at Amazon what they recommend for an ideal listing, and we put these in here. So just another addition to look more thoroughly at your listing.
Nice.
I'm gonna that's the main part where you're going to be living and working every single day inside of AMZ Alert. I'll say also that we do integrate with Slack. So if you want to, get your notifications through Slack, that's very easy to do. We also have subusers that you can add, and you can assign them groups to say, hey, you're in charge of Clayton's fun group, but you're not in charge of non-US products. That's going to be a different group. And you can manage access to what people have the ability to see and to work in. So again, that's just creating users saying Jordy's in charge of this, Clayton's in charge of that. It's so that Jordy's not getting information that he doesn't need, that's filling up his email or his texts or phone, whatever, and vice versa. Account settings, this is exactly what you would think. This is just, where you put in your credit card information. But these are the emails you can add to get notifications sent to. This is the number, the phone numbers you can add. This is where you choose how often we're scraping your items. You can do 1 hour, every 4 hours, 12 or 24. And this is reporting. We'll send you daily summary notifications, weekly, but you can also turn these off and on as you would like. And you can also make custom reports as well. If you're super high level and you are working with API, we do have an API. We also integrate with JIRA. And you can also set your BSR threshold percentages to get alerts based on when your BSR goes up or down. And again, we have an API. This is to schedule your own custom reports. You can, instead of getting the daily reports and weekly reports that we automatically create, you can say, I want a weekly report that just tells me about, inventory, and suppressions or whatever you're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, that's it. I did skip product groups, which I shouldn't have. This is where you create a new group, and you call it, Jordy group. And then I would, bulk add products, or you can go in here and you can assign products manually. And then that's when you go in. So you create a group, then you assign that group to a sub user so that that sub user is in charge of that group. And then, you can go to that person and say, hey, you're doing a great job. I've seen that your alerts are being handled correctly. Your inventory alerts have gone down. Your suppression alerts have gone down. You're doing a great job of handling these ASINs. Or the opposite.
You're fired.
Yeah. So that's really AMZ Alert in a nutshell. What it does, in my opinion, is it does a lot to protect what you've already built. I've spent years building my business, and if I go out of stock or if I am suppressed, I can lose a sizable amount of money per day or per week if I don't get an update that I'm out of stock or I'm suppressed. And on the other hand, it lets you be aggressive when your competitors have errors in their products. And it just lets you just monitor the business that you've built for what I think is a very fair price. It's around $1 per ASIN per month. Mm-hmm. So, if you got a product that makes you a decent amount of money a month, to keep on top of it for $1 per month is, I think, relatively cheap. A lot of our users have said, just the fact that you sent me, said, hey, this got suppressed because of this image, and I got the alert right away. I was able to get it up where normally it would have taken, I wouldn't have caught it till Monday. I would have lost out on 2 days of sales. The system has paid for itself for the whole year in 2 days.
Yeah,
so very cheap service, and I'm a big fan of it. And there's a lot of clever ways you can figure out how to use it with your competition. I showed you some, but I'm sure there's some that I'm not thinking of.
Okay, it's great. I mean, you're super fast. So thanks a lot. This was done in less than 10 minutes, I think. So it's great. It's a great tool. I mean, I already had a demo with you months ago, and some things are totally revamped, and the design is totally revamped, and you have new options, because I don't think the product groups were there 3 or 4 months ago.
It might not have been. And what I'll also tell you is, I think when we talked last, it wasn't operational in Spain and different parts of Europe. And now it totally is. Now it works in like Japan and all over the place. So they've really built it out internationally. And yeah, it's been made to be super user friendly. Mm-hmm. We also have chat support. So if you need help onboarding, or you have questions about how to do a bulk upload, but it's pretty straightforward. And it's something that it will take a little bit of setup, because you'll be like, oh, I think I want to know about these alerts. And then maybe you're like, oh, actually, it doesn't matter because of this or that. So you'll change it. But once you get it set up the way you like it, it's really supposed to just run in the background and just be this alert system to help you when it needs to help you, but not bother you when you don't want to be bothered.
That's great. It's a great tool, Clayton. I mean, it's completely different to what I saw on monitoring tools so far. I mean, monitoring tools, you usually connect them to your Seller Central using MWS, and they just monitor your ASINs, not your competitors' ASINs. So that's a great switch.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the biggest difference, I would say, between AMZ Alert and others. That, and we're faster, and we have more alerts. Most alert systems just don't have the full suite of options that we have. And there's stuff like, that's another one, that product dimensions. If you don't have an alert telling you your product dimensions change, who goes in and checks their product dimensions and their weight? Yeah. Like, very rarely do people do that. And if you don't catch that for a few months, like, I think it's just 90 days where you're able to combat any weights and dimensions changes that were not correct, which, like, I've seen people, seller investigators, they do that. They'll look at that, and you can look backwards and see that, hey, this changed 12 months ago, but you can only ask back for that money difference for 90 days. So the other, however many days that is, 270 or whatever it is, those days, and if you like, I've seen it where a person started paying $1.50 more a sale, and they sold 100 a day, so that's $150 a day, and they didn't catch it for a year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what that math is because I'm not good at math, but it's expensive, right? It's expensive. And then they got
It's a lot of
AMZ Alert,
money. Yeah.
and it saves them all that money. So it's little stuff that you wouldn't even think of that you're like, oh, the dimensions changed. And it's like, oh, an inch longer, but now it's $2 more expensive. Well, two things there. One, maybe they measured it wrong because they're not always right.
Yeah.
In which case you can ask for a remeasurement up to 3 times. And then number two, let's say that your packaging did change or something that you weren't aware of. That's when you go back to your manufacturer and say, this small change is making a big difference in my business and we need to fix it. So yeah, it helps.
And just remember that shit happens. So this is just a random dude on an Amazon warehouse measuring your product, maybe making a mistake that's costing you money for every item you sell. So it's good to be aware of it so you can combat any changes on your listing, category changes. That's really useful.
Yep, that too.
It affects your seller rank. So you need to know that information in real time so you can send a ticket to Seller Central Support and go back to your old category and blah, blah, blah. So,
there's probably 10 more that we're forgetting right now. Once you start getting in the weeds,
yeah,
then you start remembering like, oh yeah, this happened. And oh, I had a client that this happened to them. Like almost everything you could imagine, people have had that issue or that problem. And, it could have been avoided if they were alerted. And, someday I hope that AMZ Alert can say the product and dimensions changed, and this is how much your FBA fee changed. Like that would be really cool. So we're always working on AMZ Alert to make it better. I think it's already the best alert system there is, but we're working to make it better because that would be really cool, right? Could you imagine an alert? Hey, you changed by a half inch and now it's going to cost you $2 a product. Like, whoa, that would get your attention.
Absolutely. So, as I said, it's a great tool, and thanks a lot for being here again and making this super fast demo for us. And so if you need more information on AMZ Alert, more information and an affiliate link with a discount, it's available on the video description. So make sure to click it and try the tool. It won't disappoint you. So Clayton, hopefully I'll see you in, I don't know, weeks, months, to make it a year again.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. I always love hanging out with you, Jordy. So I'm happy to be back anytime. And maybe I'll get over to Spain. I mean, I think it's about time I get back there. It's been 10 years, so I need to come visit.
Yeah,
and it'd be great to meet you in person. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, thanks a lot, and see you. Take care.
All right, thanks, Jordy.
Bye.